Bear with me, y'all. This is going to be a long video, but I want to try to explain some of the differences in the new varsity scoring system. As you look at the images that I'm placing up here, please note that the ones in blue are from this season, so the 21-22 cheer season, and the ones in black are from the 22-23 cheer season. Let's start with stunt difficulty. You'll note that the range has now changed. Instead of only having 4 options, they now have 5. Now it starts at 2.5 and goes up to 4.5 instead of 2 to 4. However, I want you to pay close attention to the wording in the new. See how it says without recycling athletes? This is important because it means that a skill now has to be mastered by multiple people on the team, not 1 or 2 people who do it more than once. But now let's look at these difficulties. If you look at the standing tumbling and the running tumbling, you'll notice that they've actually lowered the maximum amount of points you can score. But the most important change is this word most and majority. These mean something very, very specific that coaches need to understand. It's a number. It's not just, oh, I think most of the people did it. It's an actual number. Let's take a team of 30. That's a medium team. Aces, slam, those were both medium threes. So they had 30 athletes. I want you to look at this. In this chart, this year, most would have been 16 and majority would have been 14. So 14 athletes would have had to perform the skill in order for a majority of the athletes to perform it, and 16 athletes would have had to perform the skill in order for most of the athletes to perform it. Now take a look at the change for next year. The numbers are different. Now you need 14 for a majority, 18 for most, max is 22. So in order to hit the max scores, you need 22 athletes doing the skill, 22 different athletes. Now, what does this mean? Well, I think you're gonna see some kids who are not making teams that they thought they were going to make, but here's why. Coaches had flexibility. I'm gonna use my daughter as an example. Grace Olivia was a level 3 flyer. She was a great level 3 flyer, a phenomenal level 3 flyer. She doesn't have a tuck. This year, the coaches have some flexibility about putting good flyers on teams if they don't have their tumbling skills, or putting great back spots on teams that don't have tumbling skills. That's not going to be able to happen anymore. You're going to have solid, well-rounded athletes. That may mean someone who can fly at a level 3, but their tumbling skills are still a solid 2, isn't going to be on a level 3 team because the coaches simply don't have that kind of wiggle room. It also means that you're not going to have just 1 or 2 center flyers that can do something, 1 or 2 stunt groups that can do something. All your flyers are going to have to pull out those really fancy skills in order to be on that team. I want you to walk away from this understanding that as long as you trust your gym and coaches, don't be upset if you stay at the same level you were this year or even are moved down a level because you don't have all the skills solid and necessary for them to max out their score sheet. I'll try to go over more of the score sheet later, but I wanted to give kind of a brief overview so those of you who are getting ready to go into tryouts could understand why tryouts might look a little different this year.